Most people spend their whole lives trying to be liked. She spent hers just trying to be herself, and the world couldn't look away. Today, we are diving into the life, the mindset, and the quiet power of one of the most scrutinized women in the entertainment industry, and what you and I can actually take from her story into our own lives. This is episode 1, and we are talking about Jennie Kim, lesson 1. Your authenticity is your armor. From day one, she was criticized for being too cold, too quiet, too composed. In an industry built on big smiles and constant warmth, she just wasn't that. And she didn't pretend to be. Now, think about how many of us contort ourselves daily at work, online, in relationships to fit an image that isn't really ours. We laugh louder than we mean to. We agree when we don't. We perform a version of ourselves we think people will accept. Jenny didn't do that. And she paid a social price for it for years. But here's what happened: that same cold expression, it became the face of Chanel, of Calvin Klein, of Gentle Monster. The very thing people mocked became her most marketable quality. The takeaway? The world will always try to edit you. Your job is to refuse the edit. Authenticity isn't always immediately rewarded, but it is always eventually recognized. Lesson 2: silence is not weakness, it's discipline. Jenny trained at YG Entertainment for 6 years before she ever debuted. 6 years with no guarantee, no debut date, no public validation. Just training day after day in complete silence from the world. Most people in that situation either quit or become bitter. She became sharper. And I think this is something we deeply underestimate in a world of instant everything. The power of doing the work when nobody is watching, when there are no likes, no comments, no applause. We live in a time where if something isn't immediately visible, it feels pointless. We post the workout before we've even finished it. We announce the goal before we've taken the first step. Jenny's 6 years of silence teach us something different. Your quiet season is not your lost season. The foundation you build when nobody is watching is the one that holds when everyone is. Stop rushing the process just because it isn't public yet. Lesson 3: you can feel it and still show up. Here's something about Jenny that I think gets overlooked. She's not the woman who doesn't feel the criticism. She's the woman who feels it deeply and shows up anyway. She openly admitted there was a period in her career where she was not okay mentally. She said, "There was a time when I wasn't in a good place. I wasn't taking care of myself, and that led to a lot of negative thoughts." She was 21 when she entered one of the most demanding industries in the world without fully knowing who she was, what she liked, what she stood for. She was just moving, performing, delivering, no space to breathe, let alone reflect. And when the world criticized her performances, when people said she looked lazy on stage, she didn't clap back. She didn't go live and defend herself. She sat with it. Later, she explained that she genuinely didn't know how to control her body the way she needed to at that time. She was in physical discomfort, dancing in heels, running on a depleted body, and doing it in front of millions. She was human, and she admitted it. It shows strength isn't the absence of struggle, it's continuing to move while carrying it. You don't have to be healed to be in motion. You don't have to have it all figured out to keep going. Jenny didn't, and she still delivered. Lesson 4: know when the cage is comfortable. In 2023, Jenny did something that raised eyebrows across the entire K pop industry. She left YG Entertainment, one of the most powerful labels in South Korea, and launched her own company, Odd Atelier. Now, from the outside, that sounds simple. Brave girl starts her own thing, cool. But understand what she was walking away from: the infrastructure, the team, the guaranteed machine. that promotes, manages, and protects you. She gave up the comfort of someone else being in control because she wanted her values to be in the driver's seat. She said her mother reminded her, it's better to try and fail than to give up without trying. And that line right there is something I want you to sit with. How many of us are staying in situations, jobs, relationships, creative projects, not because they're right for us, but because they're familiar? Because the discomfort of leaving feels bigger than the discomfort of staying. Jenny knew the cage was comfortable. She left anyway. The takeaway? Security is not the same as alignment. You can be completely safe and completely unfulfilled at the same time. At some point, you have to ask yourself, am I here because this serves me or because I'm afraid of what's outside? Lesson 5, redefine what success looks like for you. After everything, the world tours, the solo album hitting top 10 inches, 19 countries, the brand deals, the HBO appearance, the sold out concerts, Jenny said something that stopped me. She said, if you ask me whether I know how to handle success, honestly, I'm not sure I do. And I think that is one of the most powerful things a successful person can say because we've been sold this idea that once you make it, you'll feel it, you'll know. There will be a moment of arrival and everything will click into place. Jenny, standing at the literal top of global pop stardom, is telling you that moment doesn't come the way you think it will. What keeps her going is uncertainty, it's curiosity. It's the question of what else can I do? Who else can I become? She once described her approach to life as looking back, dreaming bigger, and continuing to move forward, not chasing a finish line, just moving, growing, evolving. The takeaway? Stop waiting to feel successful before you start living fully. The destination is not a feeling, it's a direction. Pick yours and walk it, even when you can't see the end. Jennie Kim is not just a pop star or a fashion icon. She is a woman who was quiet when the world wanted noise, who stayed when it was easier to quit, who chose herself when the industry wanted her to disappear into a manufactured image. And she is still figuring it out, just like the rest of us. That is what makes her story worth studying. Not the fame, not the awards, but the decisions, the small, daily, often invisible choices that built a woman the world couldn't ignore. If something in this episode hit you, share it with a woman in your life who needs to hear it today. Subscribe if you're new here because every single episode we go this deep. And tell me in the comments which woman do you want us to cover next. I'll see you in episode 2.